Good morning. As we used to constantly tell, economics is all about the balance. It's about the delicate balancing of, or the delicate adjustment of mismatch. How far, how much, and how well you are able to handle that mismatch is what makes an efficient economic initiative or economic solution. And here, it's today. It's regarding the need for tax and the balance between private and public sector to tackle a crisis, tackle a menace. It's very disturbing. We have discussed in many other columns on how we need to have an online portal or online official portal from government to take care of, to provide opportunities and to create transparency and efficiency in the food arena, in the hotel arena, and also regarding an online official portal for buyers and sellers. And all these discussions, we were very vociferous about being the need for a government intervention or a public sector, the relevance of public sector. Especially post-COVID, when this, the relevance of the public sector it's on the rise. We have discussed that in many other columns. The elementary services, the pivotal sectors, all these has to remain public or remain in the public domain or as public sectors to provide efficient, cost efficient, of course, not just the working efficiency, of course it needs to be cost efficient. But in the case of Ksrtc, it becomes a different issue. We have discussed that in many other columns. Here, we need to balance many other things. Two important things. One is regarding this green economics. We have discussed that in many other columns. The practical limitations in implementing the green fuels and implementing the strategy of green economics, and also in the public sector, an efficient social system of democracy, protest, and trade unions. How that has hindered their progress. We have discussed these two issues and how these two remain obstacles. Especially in Kerala, a progressive society by all means, highly politicized economic and social scenario is a big hindrance to take in taking tough decisions. Some decisions you need to wait for some months, for some years. It might even take a decade for it to be the real fruits or full fruit. For it to become a full-fledged solution. But when economic decisions are basically political in nature, and political parties are confined to few individuals or few coalition partners, tough decisions, pragmatic decisions, it is the last thing that you can expect. So when such an issue arises, is privatization a solution? And the first answer in a socially superior society, it's a big blatant no. But you have to, when you think in a pragmatic sense, is it a possibility? Is it a solution? How do you view public sector? Is it a mean? Is it something that is being is it an ideology, or is it a system that is about providing best services, or is it also it is or it is also about providing jobs? That is something that we have to analyze. The way we work, the kind of work, everything has gone for a big change. The number of private vehicles has increased. Airlines have become a common affair. Too many private airlines, too many vehicle loans. Or when you take all these into consideration, when you take the political appointments in the Ksrtc into consideration, when you take the issue of people not receiving their salary into consideration, not getting paid for the work they done into consideration, then some of these Ksrtc workers become union leaders, and they run a private bus cartel, members of a private bus cartel, and they run a vehicle in the same route of the bus they work, or if that we have discussed in some other videos. A person, a driver of Palakkad Kozhikode route is running, he's an owner of a bus in the same route, and he's making sure that the maximum passengers is with the private bus that he owns. When such scenarios happen, is there a quality of service being provided? Are we sure that the quality of service is optimum? Or if it is an employment generating, or it's an employment giving industry, are we making regular salary payments? When all these issues come up, we have to accept that we need to inflect competency, and it's about then the issue or discussion shifts to private sector. Can private sector address all this? Will the tender for the private sector become another big social casualty, a breeding ground for another big corruption scandal? All these are possibilities, but still we have to analyze that efficiency comes from competence. We have to compete with the private bus owners, private bus industry. And when that is the issue, what is the solution? When you lend, one of the most pragmatic solution is to privatize the service, not the Ksrtc. Suppose every 6 months, you call there will be a tender, and some private sector can take up the responsibility of Ksrtc buses in the state for this 6 months, and you will set a target that we need to have a profit of at least this amount, or this is the target. We must collect this amount of money, or this amount from this area, like that. It has to be discussed by the experts. And if they are unable to make that target or meet that target, a fresh tender after 6 months. It might sound ridiculous, but there need to be a way out, because a public transport system is one of it's a very noble thing. It's paramount in a welfare society. But just like campus politics, you need to have the right to protest. But when that right to protest become a right to politically organize, campus politics becomes the biggest evil. And we have discussed that in some other problem, in some other column. In the very same way, a public transport system is burning the wallet. It's ruining the pockets of each and every taxpayer. So how much, how far, and in what are the different ways a private sector has to enter this? We have discussed all this in some other videos regarding Ksrtc, where how Neera, Khadi, all this, and the coir products from Alapura, all this can be used in the case can be used in the Ksrtc stands. All these stands coming up, and we discuss all this in another video. So the extent of privatization, the extent to which privatization enter Ksrtc, it has to be discussed, but it has to be a possibility. It has to be a moot point. We have to discuss it, because we can't go on like this. It's very disturbing. In the very same way, we have discussed the tax. How tax can be used, how tax can be utilized to create awareness, to create an even playing field, to create a healthy playing field. First thing is lifestyle diseases. That is on the rise in Kerala. That is taking the toll on the health of the citizenry and health of the economy. So can we tax these junk foods? Yes. Just like nicotine, just like liquor, a new tax bracket has to come in. And this tax bracket is not just the source of income, but it's also a source of awareness. It's also a mode of awareness. It is very sad that we still consider lottery tickets, liquor, and nicotine as source of income. It's very, very, very disturbing. But you have to live in reality, or live with reality, and you have to understand that there is no other way out. And when you realize there is no other way out, the only way is to tax heavily. And when you tax this, a new kind of food system will come up, engaging the sidelined players. These players could be Kudubasri. These players could be any other homemaker. It could be any other local hotel network, or local food items. It could be anything, but there is a playing space where we are going for a green diet, and we are also going for people who are willing to provide green diet. So we are taxing something that has to be taxed, and we are giving space for someone who has been sidelined or who has been denied space. So privatization and tax, these are delicate things, sensitive things, and very complex things that only an expert can analyze. An expert could take decisions. So it's time for the experts to come in, not for the politicians. Let the experts come in. Let unbiased visionaries come in. Let them make a decision. Let them take the driver's seat, and let them try Ksrtc. Let them provide us healthy diet. Thank you.